Welcome to Mind Spark Daily, the channel that sparks and then satisfies your curiosity. Today we are talking about the Victorian practice of corpse currency and grave robbing. So let's just get into this peculiar but intriguing practice. What if I told you that in Victorian England, corpses were currency? That, behind the lace, the black veils, and the horse-drawn hearses, death was not just mourned, it was monetized. Stick around until the end, because we are uncovering one of the darkest, strangest industries in history. A world where grave robbers became millionaires, medical students dissected the poor, and the dead just could not rest in peace. To really understand the Victorian body trade, we need to step into the mindset of the 1800s. Death was everywhere. It was not hidden like it is today. It was part of life. People died young. Cholera, tuberculosis, poor sanitation. Life expectancy hovered around 40. Funerals were major social events. Mourning fashion, a full-blown industry. You could buy black silk dresses, rent hearses, even hire professional mourners to weep at gravesides. Queen Victoria, after the death of Prince Albert, wore black for 40 years. She made mourning fashionable. But beneath the lace and etiquette was a booming trade in the dead. Medical schools in Victorian Britain were growing fast. New doctors needed training, but there was a problem. You cannot teach anatomy without cadavers, and there were not enough to go around. By law, the only legal bodies were those of executed criminals, but public executions were declining. So, desperate times called for disturbing measures. Enter the resurrectionists. Grave robbers, body snatchers, professionals who unearthed the newly dead and sold them to the highest bidder. And believe it or not, it was not technically illegal to steal a body, only the coffin or the clothes, a legal loophole that made the trade almost unstoppable. These were not amateurs. Resurrectionists were organized, fast, and efficient. They would monitor funerals, strike at night, dig with wooden tools for silence. A skilled team could exhume a corpse in under 15 minutes. They would loop a rope under the arms, haul the body out, and transport it, sometimes disguised under hay or bundled in crates labeled glassware. And it did not stop at graveyards. Some bribed hospital workers, others posed as mourners to scout fresh burials. In some cities, body snatchers were more common than bakers. The public freaked out, and for good reason. Families slept in graveyards to protect loved ones. Iron cages called mort safes were bolted over graves. Some used booby-trapped coffins. Yes, literal coffin guns. In Scotland, watchtowers were built in cemeteries just to spot grave robbers. One lesser-known defense? Mort stones, massive slabs placed over graves to make digging impossible. But the rich had protection. The poor did not. Shallow, unguarded graves in overcrowded cemeteries became easy targets. And then came a case so horrifying, it changed everything. William Burke and William Hare, two men in Edinburgh, realized something chilling. Why rob graves when you can just make your own corpses? Between 1827 and 1828, they murdered at least 16 people, mostly the poor and vulnerable, and sold the bodies to a prominent doctor, Robert Knox. The case stunned the nation. Burke was hanged, his body ironically dissected and displayed. This was not body snatching anymore, it was murder. For profit. The scandal led to the Anatomy Act of 1832. It legalized the use of unclaimed bodies, mostly from workhouses, asylums, and prisons, for medical study. The act ended most body snatching, but introduced a new problem. Now the state could take your body if you died poor and alone. The poor became the default supply for dissection tables. No consent, no protection. It was legal, but was it ethical? As dark as it sounds, the Victorian body trade transformed medicine. Before cadaver studies, surgery was guesswork. Dissection revealed the true structure of organs, nerves, and bones. It led to breakthroughs in surgery, disease, hygiene, and saved countless future lives. But the price was steep. The dead were treated as property, the poor as expendable. Today, strict laws govern organ donation and medical research. Consent is king. Ethics matter. And we have the grisly lessons of Victorian England to thank for that. So, was it worth it? Did the march of medical progress justify stealing the dignity of the dead? Or is it a cautionary tale of what happens when science forgets its soul? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I would love to hear your take. And if this dark corner of history fascinated you, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Because next time, we are going even deeper into the eerie world of Victorian mourning jewelry, where strands of human hair were woven into rings, necklaces, and art. History is not always pretty, but it is always fascinating. See you in the next one.